Here's why. They are claiming they have wiretaps, ballistics, informant interviews, meaning hour-long interviews with multiple informants.
Apparently, Lil Baby might be caught up in a RICO case, bruh.
Other people actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first. You know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but
The streets are talking and the music industry is shaking. Lil Baby, one of Atlanta's hottest names, is now in the eye of a federal storm. The feds are reportedly closing in on the rap star, and things are getting serious as his name surfaces in connection with a deadly gang war. With wiretaps, ballistic evidence, and confidential informants spilling the truth, the rise of 4PF and its deadly clash with OMF has reached a tipping point. Let's break down how Lil Baby got caught in the web of the Forb versus OMF war that could cost him everything. Lil Baby's rise to fame was fast and explosive, but things were never smooth on the streets of Atlanta.
Because the apartments that are here are literally right across the street from where this shooting happened. Neighbors here frustrated that this music video shoot ended the way that it did. One woman who was caught in the middle of the crossfire tells me she's lucky to be alive.
Between the bullets, it was nothing but bullets, pop, 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 pop.
At least 25 shots fired.
The roots of his troubles stretch back to a vicious and deadly feud between his crew, 4PF, and OMF, a rival set believed to be tied to the notorious Goodfellas gang. What began as simple rap beef quickly escalated into something much darker. A long history of betrayal and bloodshed has simmered beneath the surface, and Lil Baby was caught squarely in the middle. It all kicked off in August 2021 with the tragic killing of 4PF member Marcus Big Mark Holland. This loss wasn't just another statistic, it set the streets ablaze with rage, and the tension between these gangs only grew. Lil Baby's 4PF felt the full weight of that loss, and the retaliation wasn't far behind. Fast forward to May 2024, and Lil Baby shoots a music video in enemy territory, the heart of OMF's turf in Verbena Street, Northwest Atlanta. That decision was a ticking time bomb. It didn't take long for things to explode. The moment the cameras began rolling, bullets started flying and 3 people were hit. The neighborhood, caught in the crossfire, was left in chaos. A local woman even shared how she miraculously survived, witnessing over 25 shots fired.
Like, come on, bro, you know what's gonna go on. Like, out of here, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Ain't like that, man. Got tickets on a lot of these folks.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unc, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unc.
And he's staying with Mr. Sanders.
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by the front? What do you mean on somebody's head? What's that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested?
Harmed.
And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
Although Lil Baby walked away untouched, the fallout was far from over. The streets were now on high alert, and the retaliation came swiftly. But this time, it wasn't just rival gang members at risk. Innocent lives were caught in the carnage. Just a few weeks later, on June 29th, 2024, the violence took a horrifying turn. 2 young kids, 13-year-olds Layman Freeman and J. Cody Davis, were killed outside an apartment complex in what appeared to be a random shooting. These kids had no affiliation with the gangs involved, yet they became tragic symbols of the escalating war. Another child, 11-year-old Dentavius Davis, was also wounded. The tragedy hit hard, and law enforcement didn't hold back their criticism. They pointed directly at Lil Baby, blaming his actions for triggering this senseless loss of life. The police investigation into the killings led them to suspects tied directly to the OMF gang, with several of them allegedly under the command of a notorious OMF leader, Keontae Midnight Sanders, currently locked up. But the violence didn't stop there. Law enforcement had their sights set on Lil Baby, and with good reason. In the wake of these deaths, wiretaps were conducted, revealing conversations that directly tied Lil Baby to the ongoing violence. In one particularly damning exchange, a suspect reportedly mentioned tickets on people's heads, with references to Lil Baby. What does that mean? It suggests that Baby was orchestrating the gang activities, putting bounties on rival gang members, making him a prime target for a RICO charge. and we know how deadly serious those charges can be. In the world of crime and the law, RICO charges are reserved for the most serious offenses. If Lil Baby is linked to these activities, prosecutors will not hesitate to bring down the full weight of the law. In fact, the pieces are already falling into place. A key witness in the 2022 gang-related shooting, Kayante Davis, had provided testimony that 4PF was operating as a gang, not just a music label. However, Davis was murdered just days after making his statement. Some believe his death was no coincidence. As of now, Lil Baby has remained silent. No interviews, no major statements. His silence has only fueled speculation, with analysts predicting that an indictment is inevitable. Georgia's public defender's RICO unit is reportedly preparing for an indictment on both 4PF and OMF cases. And it seems like it's only a matter of time before Lil Baby is named. The legal battle has only just begun, and the feds are relentless. With Georgia's DA Fani Willis still in power and publicly promising more RICO indictments, the clock is ticking. Lil Baby's name may be at the top of that list, and if indicted, it could shake the entire rap game to its core. But what's taking so long? The answer lies in funding. The federal pandemic relief money that helped fuel the massive YSL trial is no longer available, and now Fani Willis is caught in a political and financial battle to keep her office running. Without the resources, the next round of indictments is stalled, but the storm is far from over. The legal system's push for accountability is only growing stronger, and it seems that Lil Baby's past is catching up with him. With the bodies piling up and witnesses vanishing, it looks like the end of this chapter may be nearer than anyone expects. As the investigation continues to unfold, it's clear that Lil Baby's actions have set off a dangerous chain reaction that's only getting started. His future in the industry and his freedom hang